new trends are emerging, and what better time to lay it all out than the beginning of the year. There were a lot of great styles and aesthetics that came off the runway late last year that will soon trickle into your YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok mood boards and feeds. Now, there were a ton of great fashion trends that came about in 2023. There was the Samba takeover. People started wearing jean shorts with Timberland boots. And early 2000s fashion was the go-to trendy era that people were mimicking. Now, whether you like it or not, you're going to continue to see a lot of the hottest fashion trends from 2023 in the new year. But first, let's go over some trending, overarching themes from 2024 before diving into specific trending clothing items. So the first trend for 2024 is going to be the emphasis on classic tailoring. I'm talking about tonal, monochromatic outfits, really more elegant styles. A lot of people will call this quiet luxury, and I know some people tend to roll their eyes at the buzzword. But basically, what quiet luxury means, for those that don't know, is that it emphasizes investment in high-quality minimalist pieces that have a timeless appeal. So once again, these are just classy, tailored looks with the absence of big branding and logos. Gone are the days of, the 2016 Off-White, Supreme, Bape, where it's just these really obnoxious patterns, logos just thrown in your face. People are just preferring something a little bit more minimal. I think this applies for streetwear as well, as opposed to having like the it clothing item that has some big branding on it that everybody can see. It's more of a focus on the actual silhouette itself with good proportions and the overall look. Now, when I think of quiet luxury, one of the things that comes to mind would be Kendall Roy from Succession wearing like a $600 cashmere hat. That's not something I'm into. Overpaying for very simplistic clothing. But brands like COS, the Uniqlo U collection, and of course Ralph Lauren all have a lot of these styles for a more affordable price. Another one of the overarching themes that was huge on the runway was just a little pop of color. Now, I think that this is perfect for anybody similar to me who has been building up a wardrobe of sort of neutral tone colored items and want to just differentiate themselves a bit by incorporating a little bit more color, especially in the summertime and the springtime, where you just have a statement piece, something that has definitely a primary color like yellow, red, and blue. But let me be very clear, this isn't having your entire outfit filled with different colors. It's more so just having a very neutral colored outfit and having one clothing item that just has a splash of color. One of the biggest themes from 2023 that is going to be still relevant this year is the sort of Y2K fashion trend. And this goes for sneakers and clothing. For sneakers, GQ's 2023 shoe of the year was the Asics Gel Kayano 14. Definitely a very comfortable shoe, and if you have yet to try it, I highly recommend. We of course know that the Nike Vomero is bubbling as well, but even on the female side, women are wearing ballet flats and wraparound sunglasses, and it just seems to be the preferred aesthetic for sort of the Gen Z millennial, I think, because this is now considered vintage. So either way, this is something that I enjoy wearing from time to time. There's like a couple things that I'll take from it, like layering a t-shirt over a long sleeve, and I also do love the sneakers because a lot of them are comfortable, but Y2K is definitely going to be still relevant in 2024. The next trend would be the increase in sports marketing in fashion. Business of Fashion released a brilliant article and case study of this, basically just saying that athletes are going to be invested in more from these fashion houses to help promote their brand. We saw this with Jude Bellingham, who was just received a humongous brand promotion from Louis Vuitton. There's also the tennis pro Carlos Alcaraz, who received a similar deal. Lewis Hamilton, of course, has been doing his thing from the driving side as well. Ultimately, athletes are being used more to help promote fashion. I think there's two main reasons of this. Number one, just athletes in general being more interested in fashion, but also Virgil Abloh giving these opportunities originally a few years back to these athletes to help promote themselves and help, demonstrate their creativity specifically on the runway. The next trend that we're going to see a lot more in 2024 and beyond would be the rise of influencer brands. There are a ton of creators out there with very successful clothing brands. First ones that come to mind would be Daniel Simmons. Okay, there's Ethan Glenn with Every Other Thursday. There's also Ronning, and I could just keep going on and on. I think that in terms of manufacturing clothing and sourcing clothing as well as marketing it is getting a little bit easier for creators. There's less demand, there's less barriers and gatekeepers preventing them from promoting their own brands. And from a creator's perspective, and I know this firsthand, having your own products to sell means that you don't have to seek approval from these large brands or have to sign these elusive contracts that sort of lock you in for a certain amount of years. And plus, a lot of these creators already have the marketing down right with their audience. And I think that this is easily one of the best trends because a lot of your audience are sort of like an emotional attachment. They enjoy watching you. So giving them a product that they can, treasure and wear is just something that's really dope. The The next trend would be cropped everything. Okay, I mean tops, jackets, hoodies, you name it. Wear it if it is cropped, okay? And I think that this came about from the commercial side of just brands selling cropped clothing, but also from the DIY side. There was a big trend last year and years prior where people were just cutting the bottoms of their shirts, the ones that fit too big, and I think that this really resonated with sort of like the thrifting and the DIY community as well. Now, one of the reasons why I love it is that, hey, if you're watching this and you're a fellow short king, or just in general, you want to appear taller, cropped clothing, especially tops, is the perfect thing, because if you have a cropped shirt and some high-waisted pants, for example, it's going to extend the length of your legs, or at least make that illusion, which will make you appear taller. Now, for brand recommendations, for hoodies, Elwood makes a great cropped hoodie. For tees, there's obviously the Uniqlo U oversized Airism t-shirt. This is exactly what I'm wearing right now. And then also Abercrombie has these cropped flannels, which are selling out like hotcakes. So if a lot of people seem to be interested in it, I think maybe you would be too. So if you've learned anything from the video so far, you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm posting videos about fashion and sneakers every single week. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty of it all. Let's talk about very specific clothing items that I think are going to be trending for 2024. The first category, let's start with tops, specifically knit sweaters. Okay, there's so many different varieties that we'll get into, but knit sweaters have become one of the preferred, fashion items for people who want to dress well. And I think it plays into a number of different categories that we talked about, which would be the classic tailoring, just an overall classier look with a thick, chunky knit sweater, but also that pop of color, because the ones I'm talking about specifically have like an ombre effect to them, or a pattern, or play with one of those primary colors that I was referring to. So whether it is a long sleeve knit sweater or a sleeveless V-neck sweater like Tyler the Creator wears them, trust me, you can't go wrong. For brand recommendations, there's one called 545. They were just doing a pre-order. There's also COS. I recently picked up this blue ombre knit sweater that I absolutely love. I got it for 50% off too. There's also these ribbed full zip sweaters that I'm seeing a lot more of, and I absolutely love the washed rib knit material, because on the outside of the knit, it has this wash effect to it, but as the knit stretches, it shows that true color on the inside, which I think is really cool. It's a really cool effect. There's definitely some great trending hoodie options as well. I think that hoodies are being talked about more than ever before, so I feel like it's very important to really pick your hoodies wisely and really invest in a good quality hoodie. Zip-up hoodies specifically, I think, are really popping at the moment, and there's so many different great brands. One of my favorites, and you'll hear me recommend them a few times in this video, is a brand called Entire Studios. It's just a really clean, boxy silhouette with, of course, that crop. Comes in different washes or different solid colors. Really good quality stuff. There's also Sweats Collective, which, I mean, as the name suggests, just has a ton of variety to choose from. And then for an affordable option, you can go with Abercrombie. I have a couple of their zip-ups, and they're pretty good. And the best part is that there's always sales going on, so there's no need to pay full price. But let's move into the next topic, which would be jackets, okay? Specifically bomber jackets, all right? Now, I'm not talking about, very clear, I'm not talking about those super thin, cheap ones that you would get at like H&M or whatever. I'm talking about a nice, puffy, traditional style MA-1 bomber jacket, something with some substance and a little bit of puff to it as well. Now, I've talked about bomber jackets in the past like 3 different trends videos, so trust me, you guys need to get on this if you have yet to. So many great ones. Entire Studios makes another one that I was mentioning. But the thing with bomber jackets is that they truly never really go out of style, so if you buy one now and you invest, you can wear it for the rest of your life. Next up would be just simple, good quality leather jackets. I'm not talking about like biker jackets. I feel like it's a little bit too busy for like the current style trend. Something with a collar, very plain, a zipper, okay, maybe a button detail. You can get a ton of these vintage as well, which is excellent. But for brand recommendations, I own one from Carb Studios, and it was a very reasonably priced item. They came in a few different colors, and this one is actually a vegan leather option, but the leather quality does not suck, okay? It doesn't wrinkle, it doesn't look cheap either, so I highly recommend this one, and it's very affordable. Next up, from like the menswear tip, would be double-breasted suits. These were everywhere, okay? This is definitely on point with the quiet luxury aesthetic that I was talking about earlier. If you got a wedding too, this is a great option. So whenever you need to dress up, trust me, go double-breasted. And next up would be just long trench coats. This really is like a capsule wardrobe piece, okay? If you buy one good one, you can just keep it for the rest of your life because they never go out of style. They're super elegant and classy. And for brand recommendations, the first one that comes to mind would be from the Uniqlo U collection. I feel like each and every season they drop a version of the trench coat for a very reasonable price too. But I did find that they always fit massive, so be sure to size down. Okay, so let's talk about pants now. The first ones that come to mind would be wide leg sweatpants. This is, I think, a reaction to the trend of baggy pants in 2024, which is very relevant still, and it's super cozy. It's super cozy vibes, obviously, if you like to wear sweatpants. Reigning Champ is a great Canadian brand. They have some good wide fit sweatpants. Lululemon's got their own version, and Abercrombie is another one. I've mentioned them a few times, but they just make great affordable alternatives for stuff. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on wide leg sweatpants. And then this kind of segues into baggy cargos. I feel like this is another one of those absolute staples, especially if you enjoy streetwear outfits. And for brand recommendations, there's so many to choose from. Everybody makes cargos these days. Some of my favorites are from K2 Studios. I just picked up a recent pair off Grailed. Absolutely love them. Ronning, I'll be mentioning them once more in the video. But even the Gap, like the Gap's got stuff. Everybody's making cargos, so just get some that doesn't have that tight cuff at the bottom. From a more menswear tailored perspective, wide fit chinos are definitely still the way to go. Even when it comes to like more business casual tailoring, the trend is still to go for a more wider silhouette. And J. Crew went a little bit viral last year with their wide fit chino pants. I'm actually planning on picking up a pair. Let's move forward to accessories, okay? First one that comes to mind, easy, taking over social media, would be printed beanies, right? Toques, as us Canadians call it. Just a beanie with a different print on it. Think of Arc'teryx, okay? Those ones are absolutely buzzing right now. I have this black one. I think I wear it too much, okay? But there's Old Man Allen makes some great beanies for a very affordable price, as well as Sundays, right? These are checkered beanies. I think it's just a good little statement piece, a little bit of pop of color texture. But yeah, this one is definitely really popping, especially will be for 2024 as well. Now it's time to talk about sneakers. I made an entire video dedicated to the best sneakers to wear and watch out for in 2024. So if you want to check that video out, you can do so right here. So why don't we click on it and I'll meet you guys there.